All right, now to help make sense of what's happening on the battlefield at the moment in Ukraine, we're joined on this broadcast by retired Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis, who's a military expert and also host of Daniel Davis Deep Dive on YouTube. Colonel Davis, thank you very much indeed for joining us here in WION. Now, this is what Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky had been asking for, at least in principle. Verbally, the American president has said that the Ukrainians will get more of these Patriot interceptor missiles. But so far, we haven't seen evidence of that. Why do you think the Ukrainians haven't yet been provided with these Patriot interceptors by the Western nations?
You know, I think it's pretty straightforward and simple. We just don't have the missiles. They just don't exist in the numbers that that Ukraine wants anywhere. I mean, you saw in the U.S. Senate in testimony, Secretary of State Marco Rubio on May the 20th address this. He said, yeah, Zelensky keeps asking us for air defense, but we don't have any to give. And we've had reports in the U.S. media just earlier this month from Rich Colby, quoting him anyway, and several other people saying that our stockpiles, U.S. stockpiles, were critically low and couldn't go any lower. So apparently the ideal was we'll get other countries to give up theirs and then promise to replace them in time. But the problem is nobody has enough of those missiles to give out, especially in the scope and the scale with which the air campaign has accelerated on the Russian side. So anybody who hopes that something is coming quick is going to be disappointed. No matter what anybody wants, we just don't have the interceptor missiles at scale to give.
Colonel Davis, you know, with that being the case, the fact that the Russians have intensified their aerial attacks, is there anything that the Ukrainians, who are backed by the West, can actually do to see through this period of this heightened aerial attacks by Russia?
There isn't. I mean, I just got to, be point blank and categorical. There is nothing that can be done because all the things that have led to this moment here have been set in motion well over a year ago, maybe more than like 2 years ago. Russia ramped up dramatically its capacity to produce offensive air attack vehicles, whether that's the Garand-2 drones or their or missiles that they have, various kinds of cruise missiles. They have stepped up this production and now they have them at scale, whereas on the Western side, we incrementally increase. I think the last record I saw showed that we went from about 500 missiles, interceptors per year, the U.S. by itself, to maybe 600 and something per year. Maybe it'll be up to around 700 by the end of the year. But you see, when you're getting barrages of 4, 5, 6, 700 drones and missiles per night, that's a drop in the bucket. So we'll never be able to catch up production-wise with what the Russians are doing. Therefore, what you have been showing on your screen and these missile attacks will continue. The missiles and the drones will continue getting through, probably in higher percentage, because there just aren't enough interceptor missiles to go around.
All right, we'll have to leave there. Thank you very much indeed, Colonel Davis, for joining us with that perspective there.
Thank you very much.